Well, good evening. I hope we all had a good day today. And today I want to talk about Sam Shamoun. Now, we all know this person and the quite recent issue with him and online orthodoxy. In many ways, with orthodoxy in general. To begin, I don't want to um, use this video to badmouth Sam in a way. Um, but there are some things I really want to talk about in terms of him and a lot of young Christians, especially those who are converting, having issues with. Okay. But mostly we're going to focus on Sam. For a lot of you who do know, Sam contributed a lot to my conversion to Orthodoxy. I would say that I owe it completely to Sam Shamoun. Okay, I didn't start watching Jay Dyer until a while later and all this stuff. And even though I'm not a big fan of these online influencers, but Sam is the one who got me out of evangelicalism when I was just entering into the religious sphere. Luckily, I found him. And through a few conversations, he convinced me to look into the ancient faiths. I do believe that Sam Shamoun hates orthodoxy. And some of you might disagree with me because he says that he loves the Orthodox Church. I don't think so because he hates orthodoxy. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you why he hates orthodoxy. He says he hates the ortho bro, but I don't think so. Okay, I think he hates orthodoxy. He doesn't hate ortho bro. Now, again, we have to define what ortho bro really is. Now, obviously, those of you who knew what happened or followed what happened with him and Jay Dyer, you'd know that there were, quote, ortho bro people that tried to troll and tried to instigate, and many who are not even Orthodox. From there, we see Sam turned himself pretty much 360 degrees against us, the Orthodox. Okay, he has intentionally quoted out of context, church fathers, patriarchs, bishops, and intentionally strawman the Orthodox position, and intentionally targeted the Orthodox position ever since that point. So immediately we know that this person has a lot of sanctification that he must do, like we all do, and that he holds grudge very fervently. Okay, and I think I have a clip on my channel you guys can look at of Sam Shamoun wishing Jay Dyer and Jamie to divorce. Okay, but here's another one that pretty famous video of him. Of others. Filthy, wicked ortho bros. You guys, you. Okay. So there you go. And he did later on come out on the stream and explain that he's quoting a verse in the Bible. Yeah, sure, you're quoting a verse in the Bible, but you are wishing that in the context, it doesn't matter what you're quoting out of. You are using it in the context to support your desire for harm and spiritual um, desolation of certain people. Now, I understand the people that Sam Shamoun is addressing, quote, ortho bros. Uh, and I absolutely condemn some of their behaviors, like I've done in the past. But you meant that, Sam. Okay, you absolutely meant that. There's no way you think you can get out of that. Unfortunately, on Sam's channel, he's surrounded by a lot of ecumenist Orthodox who praise him for whatever he says and goes and these people actually goes against the canons and the teachings of the Orthodox Church and are open ecumenists. And I think at this point that we all know Sam Shamoun is an open ecumenist, fervent open ecumenist. So this is a part of what happens. And let's go before we answer the question on why he actually hates Orthodox. Let's listen to some of the things that that he says, and let's see which one we're gonna go first. Um, let's do this one.
Do you believe that these differences that you brought up affect like my salvation or anybody
You
else's
asking me?
salvation? Yeah.
No. You
Okay.
ask them? Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So if you, this doesn't make sense to me. So being Catholic and Orthodox does not affect your salvation. So if we ask Sam that it does not, and if we ask the two churches, yes. So are you not a part of one of these two churches? That's what I'm not getting is that you're saying that you're obeying your church, but you're not. That's the thing. Okay, you're still a Protestant in your theology. I mean, not theology, in your mindset. Okay. And it's really not a good way to be. And we're going to dive into that in a little bit after we watched his response to the Ubi debate with two other Catholics who are clearly um, pathetically coping after the sicko was destroyed.
Between Voice of Reason and Ubi, or do you have any
Yes.
thoughts?
5 hours. What really impressed me and where I was taken by surprise, because remember, I'm new to this. I'm learning, relearning, unlearning. I was amazed at the fact of the great disunity in the Eastern Orthodox churches. That's
Okay, so no, you're not. Um, so this video is Sam Shamoun insulting the Orthodox and in many ways mocking the Orthodox. Um, it's not a good faith response, and this is not new because this is one of the Orthodox being dis disunited or ununited. It's not a new argument. It's one of the most low-tier basic Catholic apologetic arguments against the Orthodox. And when you say that you're surprised at how divided we are, that's absolutely not. You're not surprised. You already know the argument.
what really left an impact on me, right? Because when our brother Alex came forward and just talked about all the schisms and the differences among the different Eastern Orthodox branches, that really was an eye opener for me. So I thought in the opening statements, rebuttals, Alex dominated. If they had ended the debate there, it would have been a landslide victory. The only thing is, in the live attraction, Ubi had made some comments, some points that I thought that Alex, it's not that he didn't do good. It wasn't as convincing if I was an Eastern Orthodox. And I think Ubi somehow made it seem like it ended up in a stalemate because of the issues that come, like the filioque issue and certain other issues.
So I want to ask Sam, how can someone make a statement and win? That doesn't make any sense. How can someone say an opening statement and win? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. That's not even the argument. So how can Alex have the win if he just simply made the argument? Again, totally bad faith.
But opening statements, rebuttals, when I was watching it, I'm like, wow, Alex is pulverizing this debate.
Yeah, I felt the same way when Alex did his
And
opening.
just look at how like effeminate and scummy these people look. I mean, this guy on the left here, I don't know what his name is, just looks like a total queer. Anyways.
Was it his opening statement? Yeah. And then I thought, man, that was so strong. And I was like, I'm excited to see what Ubi has to say because I've heard this guy's really smart. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Alex just kind of dropped the hammer. What is he going to come back with? And he started off by saying that was pathetic. And I thought, oh man, that just tells me that he
He hit a
probably got
nerve.
nothing.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's pretty low because when Ubi literally just made the most low tier arguments, and you guys think that is a banger, and you're hurt by the fact it was called pathetic because that's like literally every single Catholic apologetic for the past 20 fucking years on the internet. Come on.
yeah,
Yeah, he hit a nerve there. In fact, he likened him to Michael Lofton. Share the nip.
Really, Sam? I mean, are you so this is the hypocrisy in Sam Shamoun. You think that Ubi calling bad arguments pathetic is likened onto Michael Lofton when you insult people's mothers and family all day on your stream? So, and that's not likened onto Michael Lofton, right?
And when he said,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I noticed that.
I
Yeah,
expect this from Michael Lofton. All right, so then what does that mean? That's not a good argument if it's from Michael Lofton. I mean, yeah, but I think where it became a point where it's like, okay, they really dragged the point on the filioque. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah.
It really took longer than it needed. And Ubi was smart. I give him credit. He goes, well, I have to look at it in Greek. I have to look at it in Greek because I can't just go by a translation. Because what Alex did not mention, and I know this because you have a brother here, Divine Mercy Apologetics. You're aware of him, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So he's also a beast, literally and intellectually. He was quoting Gregory of Nyssa, and also to show that Gregory of Nyssa's view about the filioque contradicts. Man, I'm bad with names. Is it Gregory Palamas?
that
Yeah, I
sounds
believe.
right. I'm bad as well, but yeah, I remember that name coming up.
And he was trying to show how Gregory of Nyssa contradicts Gregory Palamas's view of the filioque. But Alex couldn't make the point because number one, Obi didn't bite, and number two, he didn't mention who they were. If you look at Alex, because what do you think these quotes do they contradict? But he never, from what I recall, never said, "Oh, the first quote is Gregory of Nyssa."
So here, 2 points. Sam Shamoun is being extremely scummy by saying that Ubi is smart by saying I don't know Greek. That's really saying that Ubi is running and that he's scared. Okay, which he's not, and it shows that he has a cartoon level understanding of the filioque as literally the spirit proceeds from the Father and Son. Okay, that's not true. I mean, I dare any Catholic to show me where in Gregory Nessa's writings that he specifically states that the Father and the Son together is one principle, where the Holy Spirit originates, okay, eternally generates from the one principle, Father and Son. I dare any Roman Catholic to provide me that quote from Gregory Nyssa. Uh, Spoilers, it does not exist because Cappadocia clearly defines the Trinity as the oh man, such a long day, right? As the eternal hypostatic principle, uncreated between the three, cannot be shared. The Father is the sole principle, and it's clearly defined. And then the attributes, the uncreated hypostatic attributes of each the person is one is uncreated, one is begotten, the other is preceded. Okay, and that's laid out. And then no matter what Roman Catholics quote mine, like what's his name, Donkey Dick Wong or something, the rice farmer, nothing they quote. I mean, if we have that as the foundation of how the Trinity was laid out, as Father being the sole principle, then none of the quote mines from Basil and Gregory of Nyssa or Gregory of Nazianzus would even matter. Okay, because clearly not saying uh, what was laid out at the Council of Lions. So this shows that Sam and whoever this person is, has a horrible basic level understanding of what the filioque is.
Second quote is Gregory Palamas, and look how they contradict each other against the filioque. So, but you recognize Gregory of Nyssa. So now, what are you going to do? How are you going to reconcile these two statements? But Ubi didn't bite, and Alex didn't mention who the.
And th this shows, by the way, VOR has no clue what he's talking about as well. Voice of retard. If you guys want to know who I'm talking about here. Also, that since he's an Eastern Catholic, aka Uniate scum, he doesn't even need to accept the filioque, and it's part of the Malachite Catechism. So, yeah, you find a person when they're bad faith in debate, just like what's his name, LJ and Noah, when they're trying to debate on a topic that doesn't even matter to them. So it's not even their position, but they want to use that to try to somehow take a jab at you. And then in the debate, you actually cannot attack to counterattack. Okay, so it doesn't matter what they do, even though if you refute all their arguments, they walk away in one piece, and you're the one who has to defend against all the jabs. That's immediately a bad faith debate. Okay, it's very easy to spot these things.
Saints were that he was citing. So Ubi was smart. I give him credit. He goes, I got to look at a Greek.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I think maybe Alex, when he was quoting those two quotes, he could have made the point, well, maybe you're trying to avoid answering because this is Saint Gregory of Nyssa and Palamas, and you don't want to like address the question. That's why you don't want to answer. Which I mean, it was smart of him to not address that, but I think Alex could have called him out a little bit harder on that. That would have made his point.
Yeah. So that was my impression. I have to go watch it again because I need to learn the history about the papacy. But I was really, to be honest, I was really shocked. I did not know the Eastern Orthodox Church is so divided because they'll talk about divisions within the Catholic Church. Oh wow, the fact that you have so much schism and one branch of the EO condemning the other branch and refusing to take their sacraments, man, that was really an eye opener for me. That really shocked me.
I mean, isn't it an eye opener for you that the first 1,000 years of the church did that? Obviously not, right?
In other words, you won't find greater unity in the Eastern Orthodox Church, as some claim, than you will in the Catholic Church. That argument
Well, I mean, well, what?
has to be retired.
Well, no one has actually used the argument. No, actually, nobody has ever used that argument against the Catholics. It's always the Catholics using that argument against the Orthodox. I don't know what you're talking about, Sam, but every time the unity issue came up, it has always been Catholic against Orthodox. It's never been, and it's only a response argument when Catholics use it against us that we used it back against them. So again, here, totally bad faith statement that you're just trying to throw a nasty jab at the Orthodox.
Yeah, no, that's clear. And I don't think he, successfully refuted any of those claims. All he said was, well, you don't have sources, and then he gave sources, and then that was kind of the end of that conversation. So
Well, and then he
yeah,
says, well, yeah, what the church for the first 1,000 years had the same problems.
right.
That's what he said. So that's it. That's all.
Wait, hold on. That's not a problem? So anything you guys see that like with these delusional Roman Catholics and scumbags that when it actually is their problem, they just like a clown and it just somehow doesn't fucking matter to them.
To say about it, but I got to watch it again because I need to learn the material. But yeah, brother. So if there's anything else you want to deal with these Muslims, if not, I didn't want to chime in and rain on your parade.
No, all good. I mean, this is all I had. So
Yeah, but again, you can see this person is totally malice against the Orthodox. And now let's really go into why he hates the Orthodox and he doesn't hate the Ortho bro. Okay. And there you go.
So why did I choose Catholicism? Because when I was making my exit And when I was looking into the ancient past, the Lord surrounded me with Catholics, and the Lord did things to me which
See, again, he has no justification or principle of knowing how he thinks the Lord is doing it to him. Okay.
my experience was nothing short of miraculous that had to do with Catholics. But initially, I went back to the Assyrian Church of the East. Now, I didn't leave the Assyrian Church because I think it's a false church. So I don't want people misrepresenting me. The Assyrian Church of the East is also an ancient church. It's a church of my ancestors. But the terminology and
So, I'm sure this is nothing new to everybody, and he has multiple times said that the reason he became Catholic was because of miracles and things that he believed that the Lord did to him. Now, isn't this the same mindset as the uh, Pentecostal demon worshippers? I see the exact same thing happening. Same thing with the orb and shit, right? It's that I think these miracles are happening. I don't care what they're doing, but it's my presupposition that I'm now doing something that's right, which is to seeking the ancient faith. And my presupposition is none of this shit actually matters. Just like when I was a Protestant, none of the denomination crap ever mattered. Besides from the fact that I obviously hate Calvinists when they all call each other brothers in Christ. So it's the same exact mentality and it's the spiritual delusion and stuff. Yeah, with the orbs and all this stuff. So he first of all, I don't think he's really went into the even the Catholic mindset, and he's and multiple Catholic influencers has called him out. And what I think it's funny is that he called Jay Dyer suck. He said that Jay Dyer suck at biblical exegesis. He's only good at philosophy. No, this is, are you serious? You're talking about someone who actually studied the topic, which you said, you're a baby in, and you're talking about someone who actually went to seminary. And you also attack militant Thomists who went to seminary. All of these people don't know shit. It's just you. This is why this person is, you know, extremely egotistical. And he attacks anybody and including David Erhan. And he said that the video is by the way taken down, but I'm pretty sure you guys can find the original somewhere. He said that anybody, I'm not gonna lie, David Erhan talk on my channel, um, but but Daniel Kikash will destroy you and Jay Dyer. So first of all, we all know that Daniel Kikash and Kakish, whatever his name is, and the Miaphysites aren't going to um, destroy anybody. Okay. And the fact that you are allying with these monophysites are just totally stupid. Now, the monophysites today will tell you that they are Miaphysites, that they believe Christ is fully God and fully man. That's not a translation issue. Okay. It is not. Okay. That's so the issue is not the terminology. The issue is their belief about the hypostatus union. Okay. Up until 60 years ago, many of them, okay, most of them, the entire Oriental Communion, um, pretty much all agreed that the divine nature of Christ swallowed up the human nature. Okay, that's monophilites. Okay, and that's a damnable heresy. And now Sam Shamoun is allying with these people who he has no clue what the histories are of. And if we look at the history of the Monophysites, they have always allied with the Muslims against even the Catholic and Orthodox. Um, there you go. These people, I mean, the Monophysite, I don't know if I want to do another video on it, but there's a priest that I find pretty hilarious on the internet trying to defend the Miaphysite, Monophysite, whatever you call it. Now, we're not saying that the Orientals are the original Monophysites, but yes, I mean, if you would say I mean, until 60 years ago that the divine nature swallowed up the human nature, then you're not Orthodox. Cyril of Alexandria didn't teach that. You can quote this is the same thing, right? This is the same thing as the Roman Catholic with the filioque, is that proving that Cyril used the language of one nature is not going to help you solve the problem because that's the thing in dispute. Did he actually mean that there is one nature? Okay, no. Cyril is not an monophysite. Okay, he does not believe that the divine nature swallowed the human nature. Okay. But anyways, Sam Shamoun, he appreciates all of this stuff. Okay, and he has, I think in another video he said that one of the reasons is that the Catholic Church accepts his baptism and lets him take communion. Okay, while the Orthodox Church does not. So the reason he joined the Catholic Church is that he believes that the Orthodox holds more truth to their faith. Therefore, he doesn't like that. He likes the ecumenist, what do you call it? Skittles. What's the other word? Inclusive church, right? Um, and he's willing to compromise his values to keep this ideology of his. He's willing to compromise the position on Muslims, as we've seen recently. And I don't need to clip that because there are many clips already. Um, Many of y'all, including Jay Dyer, actually thought that he's going to eventually convert to Orthodoxy because of his ministry against Muslims. But I never thought so because this is a person who is relying on prelust. He will not become Orthodox. He's in love with the custom, but he's not in love with the church. Okay. Now, when he says ortho bro, he's talking about the people who are not ecumenist. Okay, who are not ecumenists like him, who are not the Orthodox, few Orthodox moderators that he has on his comment sections, calling ortho bros scumbags, and who would rather listen to a heretic talk about the Bible instead of going to their Bible study group at their church. Okay, who rather get cucked on his stream and applaud him attacking orthodoxy than, you know, follow some of your own guys. I guess if you guys are so, wrapped up in the online sphere. This is why Sam Shamoun is he doesn't like the Orthodox. He likes the customs of the Orthodox, but he doesn't like the Orthodox. He hates the Orthodox. He hates the real Orthodox. And he thinks the ecumenist idiots on his channel are real Orthodox. Okay. Like, if none of these things matter, then why are you preaching it? I don't understand why you are trying to preach this stuff if none of it matters. Because obviously the Catholic Church doesn't matter to you enough for you to hold to its teachings. Okay? So again, anyways. And we all know his real name. Now we're going to go into some of the legal stuff. But before I go into that, this is the common issue with some, or I would say a large amount of converts today to the Orthodox Church, or even the Catholic Church. Well, the Catholic Church is what it is, ecumenist, and they say we have valid sacraments, but it's somehow not valid because we don't have the Pope. Okay, so the head of the body of Christ is not Christ, is a man, a bishop, which is quite ridiculous. But a lot of people who share this sentiment and we see this manifest over and over again in the online sphere. I want you guys to know something that if you're truly looking to some that is authentic, that would provide you any sense of truth, objective truth claims, then you need to stop this sort of ecumenist mindset. Okay, I'm not telling you to go hate the other side. Um, the Catholic Church has done horrible things to Orthodox Christians in the past. Okay, I'm not telling anybody to go hate the Catholic. Most of my friends are Roman Catholics. Okay, Roman Catholics and some evangelicals. Uh, I'm telling you, if you are going to look for truth, then you should look for it and not compromise. Because if you look at the world right now, how corrupted we become and the deterioration in social morals, that is exactly where it came from. We had some sort of truth, and we tried to compromise. And the more we compromise, the more we lose that. So if you're looking for truth, don't compromise in falsehood. Shit. See, I said I'm not an apologetic channel, but somehow that came out. And the reason, by the way, I say I don't want to do apologetics is because I don't really have that desire to get into. I've done blood sport debates, and you guys can go look for those. I'm getting tired of those, and I don't think I am spiritually mature enough, and I don't know when I will. And we heard Jay Dyer talk about this on Jerusalem. He's the same way, right? I don't want that burden on myself. Okay. I serve my parishes. I serve a few parishes as a reader, and I want to do that faithfully, and I want to serve the church. Obviously, if someone comes to me, I'll tell them to become Orthodox, and I'll try to answer as much as I can. But ultimately, it's the church that does all that stuff. I appreciate the people, although I disagree with you guys and I get into conflict with your certain beliefs. I appreciate people who are seeking leadership positions in the church who are actively looking to uh, convert people, and I do appreciate that. Okay, but I hope you do it without pride and without ego. I hope you do it for the right purpose. Now, I want to get into some of Sam's issues. Okay, now not many of you have seen this, but Sam's full name is Hasamo, and the reason he says he's Sam is because when we look at Sam Shamoun on Google, everything that comes out will say he is some sort of Christian apologetic, okay, who destroys Islam, which all credit to him. However, if you would type in Hasamo, which is his full name, Shamoun, what comes out? Ah, his past legal issues that he keeps talking about. Now, the abusive court case regarding the restraining order has been taken down from the internet for some reasons. So I'm not going to make any speculation because I don't know exactly what happened. But we're going to go into the appellate court uh, on some of the things that that happened here with his family. This will actually show us what type of person Sam really is. Now, I would like to say that Gene M. Reynolds is a scumbag, and this is a um, leftist judge who is extremely anti-man and has made some very questionable judgments regarding children and property. Okay, so that is a valid factor in some of Sam's excuses. But she is not the only judge in this entire charade. Now we're going to look at what actually happened, and this is the full documentation. We're going to try to walk through everything with you guys. Petition for dissolution of marriage in order of protection. Sam and Michelle were married in August 2008 and have two minor children. In October 2017, Michelle filed a petition for dissolution of marriage. So obviously, a lot of you know that I am a psychologist. Um, w- Usually, what I find is that when women, yes, a lot of women cheat, but when women initiate divorce, okay, it is often due to some sort of failure on the men's side, okay? And women will wait, always tend to wait until the last moment possible, to the last straw to file divorce. Okay, this is it's just a part of what they do. So I'm assuming Michelle filed a petition for dissolution, um, in a way, well, in a circumstance that I guess that she literally cannot stand Sam anymore. Okay. She's seeking maintenance, child support, and attorney fees, as well as an equitable division of the parties' marital estate. She also asked the court to grant her significant decision-making responsibilities for the children. So this is what really stood out to me. Now we can read this paragraph and take it two ways. That this person, like Sam said, cheated on him and is unfaithful, is a scumbag, and wanted Sam's house for herself. Now, I don't like the idea that one party should get full house. I think the house should be sold, and the marriage laws and divorce laws are absolutely horrible in the United States. But this part really strikes me to rethink Sam's narrative on his marriage that he uh, often portray on the internet. Okay. Uh, So assuming that Michelle is a whore, is someone who cheats, someone who is scummy, and those children he had with a man that she unfairly treated. Now there always we have guilt. We as human beings we feel guilt. Okay. Now, if that's the case, I would not ask. In most cases, women do not ask for significant decision-making responsibilities for the children. In most cases, they would not, um, because they feel the guilt against the other party, even though that they're scummy. Okay. Now, in this case, she did that. That makes me think that there are other things involved. And as we can see, Sam's behaviors, he does not hesitate to swear loudly in vicious ways in front of his children, excuse me. And that makes me think that there's something. Again, I'm not going to make much comment on that. I want you guys, I'm here to present you my view and for you guys to make up your mind. In November 2017, at Michelle's request, court entered a 2-year order of protection prohibiting Sam from harassing, stalking, or physical abusing Michelle. Now, I do not know if this is the same judge, because oftentimes these are different judges. This incident, okay, granted Michelle sole possession of the party's Marshall residence. Okay, so Sam had to show. So I have been to actually a protection court, um, and you absolutely have to demonstrate beyond reasonable doubt that the other person has either has showed or threatened to show harm to you. Okay. So I'm assuming that Michelle had evidence of Sam harassing, stalking, or physically abusing. Okay. And these cannot be bruises, from my experience, these cannot be bruises that you just took a picture. Okay. That's not going to work. You have to show video of the person beating you or have accountable witness, stuff like that. Okay. It's not just, oh, I, I don't know. I twist my skin and I take a picture of, oh, my husband beat me. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Now let's move on. In March 2018, the trial court granted Michelle's request for temporary maintenance and child support, ordering Sam to pay $1,500 a month to this ward. When Sam failed to comply, Michelle filed a petition for so he failed to pay for his two children, by the way. Michelle filed a petition for a rule to show cause to hold him in contempt and request attorney's fees for her efforts to enforce the order. In June 2018, the court ordered Sam to pay Michelle overdue support and attorney fees. And Sam did not apply. The court allowed Sam time to respond and set the matter of hearing. Sam failed to file a response. The court found that Sam had not complied with the order in 2018 and directed again to pay by October 8. Okay. October 2, and he failed to pay child support again. Now, this is not just support maintenance fee for the house. This is also child support. So he was ordered to pay in June for almost a year. He didn't even want to pay. And is it because Sam didn't have money? We'll find out. Michelle then filed a petition for additional attorney fees, and it was awarded almost $2,000, and Sam didn't pay, and it was increased $200. Okay. February 2018, Michelle served a notice on Sam to produce discovery documents, but neither the notice or description of documents requested is included in the record on appeal. So, we're gonna go get into this actually. Okay, we're gonna look at the actual court judgment, the trial court's judgment. The trial court entered judgment on November 28, 2018, dissolving the parties' marriage and resolving the ancillary issues of maintenance, child support division of the marital estate, attorney fees, and allocation of parenting time and parental decision-making responsibilities. The court began by determining the parties' respective income for maintenance and child support purposes. The court found that Michelle's gross annual income was $27,000. Okay, for Illinois, that's not a lot of money, guys. Okay, most likely because she's a mother. Sam's income, however, was difficult to ascertain. I want you guys to start paying attention to this part because his testimony was inconsistent, contradicted by other evidence, and not credible. So he was lying about the amount of money he made that year. As the court recount, Sam testified that he was an employee as a Christian apologist and Bible teacher, but he could not remember his income for 2016, 2017, or 2018 year to date. Although Sam's 2016 W-2 form reported gross income of 116,000. That's a lot of money Sam makes. He's not a poor guy. Okay. He's a pretty wealthy guy. He testified that his gross income that year was only 100,000. Okay. Anyways, the income reported on Sam's 2017 W-2 form dropped to 50,000 without explanation. Sam claimed that his 2017 income was even lower than the amount reported on the W-2. Why would you report more income on W-2? That doesn't even make any sense. But he could not credibly explain the discrepancy or inconsistencies in his statement. So right there, guys, there could be some tax fraud. Not saying it's a it's a bad thing. Okay. Um, Although no record of the actual amount of his additional income were present at trial, the court was able to identify an additional $15,000 of income that Sam received in 2017 based on deposits made to one of his checking accounts. Raising his 2017 gross income to at least 65,000. Okay. Because Sam's income remained difficult to ascertain with specific specificity, due to his lack of credibility and the fact that he had additional income available to him other than what he disclosed. So again, failure to or dishonesty when disclosing his income. But using the method, the court found that the method of uh, getting average. Court found that Sam's gross income for annual income was around $82,000, although for unexplained reasons it used the slightly lower figure of whatever. In the worksheet they used to calculate maintenance and child support after that. So the court calculated the amount of maintenance by subtracting 20% of Michelle's gross annual income from 30% of Sam's gross annual income, but capping the sum of result maintenance awarded and maintenance award and Michelle's gross income of 40% of the party combining gross income. Okay, applying this formula, the court awarded maintenance of $14,000 per month for 43 months. Okay, so it's not forever. It's for a few years. The trail then calculates Sam's guideline child support. That figure is calculated by taking each party's monthly net income, adding those numbers to arrive at the party, blah, blah, blah. Uh, Sam's monthly net income was 59,000. Okay. That, I think he makes a decent amount of money. Okay. The court multiplies Sam's share party combined income 70%. Uh, so he had to pay 1385 per month. Okay, so to be honest, that is quite an amount of money that he has to pay. Okay, and that's more than half of his income. If we do 1385 plus 1400, that's what? Uh $2,800 minus his $6,000 income. So that's half of his income gone for well the child supports, which is what he has to pay, right? But the 43 months will soon end, and if it has not already ended, um, based on those findings, the court orders Sam to pay. Okay, well, yeah. So the court in divided parties, the court found that the estate consisted of Marshall residence valued at 142,000 with balance of 80,000 on the mortgage. Tahoe valued. Let's see what Sam ended up with. Uh, so this is all his. The court allocated 60% of equity in the Marshall residence to Michelle and 40 to Sam. However, to provide Michelle with sole ownership of the residence, the court transferred Sam's share of the equity to her and correspondingly reduced the duration of Sam's maintenance obligation to 24 months. Okay, so he was compensated for what he had in the house. Okay, he was compensated in the marriage. So it was not as bad as as he said that it was. This is pretty much a normal marriage, normal divorce in the United States. Okay, he did have to pay, quite a bit of money for the maintenance, but it's Illinois, but it's not very unnormal. Okay, and his appeal was that the child support's too high and all that stuff, and it was denied, obviously, because it was a pretty shitty judge. Anyways, we're not going to go through the rest of this document, but here is to just to prove to you or demonstrate to you a kind of person what Sam is. The person is extremely egotistic and he's in many ways dishonest. That's the main thing I want to talk about. He's not an honest person. Okay, his actions against the Orthodox, such as misquoting our patriarchs, misquoting bishops, misquoting saints, misquoting um, Saint Gregory Palamas, somebody who was abused by the Muslims as saying that he worshiped the same God as the Muslims, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and the video we just saw that nobody used the argument of disunity against the Catholics unless it was you Catholics use it against the Orthodox. Okay? And just the constant attacking of our, people on the internet. He's a person who's angry, who holds grudges, and that could be a reason why his children were taken away from him, and he had a restraining order against him. Okay. Now, I'm not saying any of these things are for sure, but I think from the collective of evidence of how he conducts himself on the internet and on what the court uh, has made decision on, we have a pretty good picture of who Sam is. Okay. And that's really all I have to say in this video is who he really is. Okay. And again, to all those people who, new converts who are looking to maintain this sort of ecumenist mindset, I kindly ask you to, in a way, reconsider your actions. Okay. Reconsider, is it still worth you doing this, looking for the true faith by keeping this ecumenist sort of mindset? So if you're going to be ecumenist with OO and RC, what's wrong with just being brothers in Christ with the Protestants or evangelical uh, people? There really is no difference. Okay. So come into the church, shed what you have that was not orthodox, that is not orthodox, and accept what is true. Anyways, sorry, my voice is still a little bit under the weather, and I hope we have a blessed day or blessed week.